This is a custom waste bin cabinet that I made for a house in the city. This side is for storage. The other side has 2 trash cans in it. I started out by ripping a 2x4 in half so that I could flat frame a wall to support the paneling. There I am screwing them together. Get it all lined up in place and screw it down to the floor and to the cabinets. Here I am breaking down some plywood for the faces of the cabinet right in the kitchen, as you can see, because we're in the city and there's really no place else to work. So slide her into place. Put a couple nails in her. So here I am cutting up some of the trim. This is a pocket hole jig that I'm using. You clamp that jig on there and drill a couple of steep holes into it. That's what it looks like right there. And then you put the 2 pieces you're trying to join together with those clamps. And run a couple screws in them. It's a real nice tight joint. It's more than sufficient for what we're doing here. It keeps all that trim kind of like in a flat plane. So I've got that front piece made, and I'll slide it into place and nail it on. So then I've got the plywood piece where I've laid that trash bin on it, you see, and then I use it for the template. Once I've got my lines, I put another line like a 1/2 of an inch inside of the first line. If that makes sense. And then I take the jigsaw and cut out the hole. Now I'm working on the top there that actually has the doors on it. And those pieces that I cut out will eventually become the actual doors once they get trimmed out. Van Gogh looks on. So once I've checked to make sure that the plywood works, now I've got my trim pieces all cut up and I lay them out to make sure they're going to work. And I assemble that piece of trim with pocket holes again. So there's the piece that holds the trash cans. Drop them into place. This is me cutting up some of the panel molding that will fill those boxes that you saw earlier on the front of the cabinet. And here I am building the doors, trimming them out. That's a piece of barge mold that hangs over the front lip of the door and kind of gives you a little bit of a handle to grab a hold of. And then that panel molding goes flush with the edges of the door there so that when it's closed, it looks like one of the panels that is on the front. If that makes any sense. So here's the plywood piece that we cut out. That's like a backer for the trim. We lay the trim in place. And that piece there in the middle, you'll see me measuring it here. It's critical that those openings are exactly right for the doors to have space to open, but also so that the gap is the same and that it looks good like a panel like on the front here that you see. It's another piece of that barge mold going on. Here's the piano hinge that we put on for the door. Pre-drilling a couple holes. Screw it on. So you can see the door in the lower frame there that's already in place looks like the panels that are going to be on the front. That's the panel molding going on the front. Some glue in the corners and then nail them in place. There they are, all done. Drop the cans in. Turned out good. I think I exceeded the customer's expectations and I was happy with them too.